We see the name Shane Smolin. Now, for anyone who's been watching our telecast this year, that's a name that will be very familiar. The race winner at the Bathurst 6 Hour alongside Shane Van Gisbergen and Rob Rubis as well.
He's still got Van Gisbergen's name on the window.
They wish he was out there today.
The car has literally rolled off onto the trailer at Bathurst and rolled off here. It's been through a car wash, and that's about it. We're about to jump away for race 1, round 1 of the 2021 MRF Tyres Australian Production Car Series here at Sydney Motorsport Park. And the revs rise. It's 0.9 on the Dwayne West car there, and it is the BMW that gets away nicely from Presley Connex. Have a look at the Volkswagen on the second row of the grid there. Jem Usul getting away nicely as well. Jake Camilleri in his Mazda there. The giant killer from series past. We always used to watch the MPS of Jake Camilleri in the longer distance races, the Class C car. Just start to progress his way up the field with a compact field of 9 cars. It's going to be a big push. Runs a little bit wide there. You have to suggest that with just one outlap, the MRF tyres are going to be just a little bit cool, but by the end of 11 laps, they're going to have had a good punishment.
Jake Camilleri didn't get as good a start as that little Volkswagen, actually, and Shane Smolin got a ripper reaction time, and the BMW just hooked up. And I noticed the HSV on the gear shifts lost a lot of ground off the start line. The car pitched on the front, obviously on the shift first to second gear, so that's where the BMW had a bit more of an advantage in the acceleration phase.
We really noticed that in the production cars on acceleration, the weight transfer, the rolling of the car, and the HSV, you know, they are a big car. They've also got a huge power advantage over some of these other cars. Like the Volkswagens are a tidy little hot hatch, but they're not running with, you know, 360 kilowatts, nearly 400 kilowatts like the HSV is, and we're just watching that being displayed now. The Volkswagen sitting there in P3, the Jem Usul car, Jake Camilleri in behind there as well, and it's great to see the James King car as well, a New South Wales-based outfit in 4th place there as well.
Seb Usul is the big move you can see on our timing monitors there, up into 3rd place. 6 years he's been racing a variety of different things. He was 4th in the A1 class at the 6 Hour, which has been a great performance for him in the past. But the M4, that's a car that Shane Smolin, we know he built it, he owns it. It made its debut at Bathurst last month, and what a tremendous job for them to prepare that car to put in the performance that it did. He was in tears after that race with that penalty that was hanging over their head, a late safety car, and he was the one that caused the penalty with an overlap there on a restart with a slower competitor, and he was just so relieved to get away with that victory. A great performance.
The longest 5 seconds in his life, isn't it? When watching SVG, you had the right guy behind the wheel to make up, didn't you? But it was that late safety car, everyone just went, uh-oh, where are we going to head with this? But yeah, certainly a great battle up there. And I tell you what, it just goes to show a professional race car driver getting lots of laps can jump into just about anything and go fast when you're dialed in and you're racing every weekend. Unfortunately, at this level of racing, these cars are professionally prepared. But these guys, you know, like Jake will go back on Monday and sell Mazdas at Grand Prix Mazda. You know, the guys at Western Media, they'll go back and do their computing, that sort of thing. So they're not, you know, getting on the bike and training for the 4 days leading up to the weekend, jumping in a 600 horsepower supercar or a GT car or a TCR car or whatever it might be. Jarvis car coming along here as well. That's a championship winning car from a number of years ago. The 27E there, we're just getting a good shot of it as we watch Alan Jarvis working away at the wheel there. Part of the, about 7 or 8 seasons ago, we had the High-Tech Oil Suzuki Swift Series as part of the Shannon's Motorsport Australia Championships, and this is one of those cars that was out of that one-make series. Look at that little Mini. Great looking race car, purpose-built race cars, those ones when they ran in the Mini Challenge here in Australia, which was very, very popular for a while. Our friends down the road at MPC running a number of the Audis in the TCR series did a tremendous job there. There's the Luff car, another championship winning car. Matt Thulis drove that to the Class C championship a couple of years ago. And really
they're building a new one. There's a new Mini on the way too.
Yes.
So they're certainly investing. At this point, let's head down to the lane where Jesse's standing by with a person who will be very, very happy at the moment. I wonder if he's had a couple of drinks to celebrate yet.
He is indeed. I am down here with Josh Buchan, who has not yet taken off his winner's cap, and he just asked me if he looks a little bit silly. And I was like, no, mate. But I don't know. You tell me. You be the judge of that.
I haven't had a chance to take it off yet. I've gotten basically to the end of the garage. I've just been swamped by everyone putting this lap 5, which is fine by me. Usually no one wants to talk to me after a race, so it's good.
How is it being a very popular TCR race winner?
Yeah, excellent. Look, I'm just really happy for everyone here. They put in such a big effort, and I know every race driver says it, but it really is true. They put in such a massive effort, so I'm really happy for HMO. Happy for the boys.
It absolutely is a team effort, but there is one team that you would not be welcome on, and that is an AFL team. If we think back to Bathurst 6 Hour and your skills with a football.
I've still got a bruise on my hand from that. I'm recovering. I'm that close from getting a compo claim over that, because it's all left-handers here, so my left hand was really hurting at the end there, and I just held on luckily.
Do you guys have a team physio?
No, it's just myself. My girlfriend back at home, though, she might have to massage the hand later, so I'll come back stronger tomorrow.
Very good. So what's on for the rest of the day? Do you get to chill now? Are you going to watch some more racing, or are you going to be putting your head down and working out how to keep this form going for tomorrow?
I'm a big old race fan, so yeah, I'd love to watch a few cars go around in circles. We've got the Hyundai N Performance display over on the other side. We've got about 70 customers in their cars coming over to the South Circuit later too, so I'll be there. I'll be just enjoying everyone's company and telling everyone I'm going to do the same thing tomorrow.
Excellent. Well, you look after that hand of yours and make sure that you keep that speed up tomorrow.
Thank you.
Good stuff. Good to see people getting their first race win. Of course, Christian Pancioni enjoying his first race win in the Porsche race earlier on today as well. Great to see young drivers being successful. And Jack, it's also good to see a couple of older blokes get a win every now and again as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you always remember your first win. It's such a great achievement. I mean, the lifelong ambitions and all the sacrifices that go into it. And, we touched on earlier that, he won a race ahead of James Moffat and Chaz Mostert, so it was no mean feat. He did a great job. He should be very proud of his efforts. And, yeah, it's a great reward for that team with Will Brown winning the inaugural TCR Championship for HMO Customer Racing. They've had a bit of a lull to start to the season. The cars haven't been as good, and they've been working really hard in the background. So great reward for the team, and they'll be looking to build on that tomorrow. So we might, see another couple of victories for that team over the course of the next couple of races.
We completed 4 laps in the MRF Tyres Australian Production Car Series. Of course, this is a 5-round series. The Bathurst 12-hour, not part of the national series that runs around with the Shannon's Motorsport Australia Championships. This year, for the first time in many years, is based around sprint races. So some of the things that the drivers used to do, where they used to be able to sit back and sum up a car in front, it's more like, Jack, where you started from, State Series sort of stuff, where you get 9 laps and every corner you've got to make a winner. So it's going to be interesting to see. We haven't seen any of those Hail Marys or dive bombs just yet, but round number 2 will go to Morgan Park, then Sandown, Tailem Bend, and they'll finish up at Bathurst. So production cars twice at Mount Panorama this year. It's a good year to be in Proddy cars, isn't it?
Yeah, and another thing that's new to a lot of the competitors is the MRF tyre. So we found a lot of people learning with that tyre at Bathurst in the endurance race there. And, this circuit's traditionally very hard on tyres because of the long flowing corners. So, they'll be collecting a bit of data and a bit of information on how the tyres are wearing out through the races, because even in a sprint race format, only 11, 12 lap race, it can still do a lot of damage to the tyres. So you've got to manage that situation as we look here. One of the minis just a bit high and dry into the hairpin, and if we had an issue there or if we were setting up a bit of stage racing.
The interesting thing around the production type tyres, which is what we're running here with the MRF tyre in this championship, is that we like to get a little bit greedy, start to put a bit of toe out, a bit of negative camber on them and those things. And the MRF tyre by characteristic likes to run straight. So they used to run on a couple of other different brands, and it was some of these teams, Berwick Linton and the Sherrons, etc., they were a little bit like, yeah, but we've got to run 3-4 degrees negative camber, and MRF said, just run it straight, trust us, we'll get there. And Berwick 2019 won Bathurst on one set of tyres, like that whole 6-hour race on one set of these tyres. So you'd expect that some of these little lighter cars might get 2 or 3 race meetings out of a set of tyres. And you rummage through the rubbish from Bathurst as well and get out the best set.
And that's good for those running on a budget. You don't have to always have new tyres on the car. I know a member of our team, Brad Hodge, he'll be watching this with interest. He's pretty keen to get into the production cars as Hodgie.
Sure.
He's sizing himself up for...
wheeling and dealing in the background as we speak.
He's got his eyes on the Bathurst 6 Hour next year, and we might see him in a couple of sprint races getting his eye in. So... I imagine you are watching, Hodgie, so g'day, and I hope you're enjoying the action.
And I saw him coming out of the Porsche truck, the Audi truck, the S5000 truck. I saw him coming out of everyone's trucks at Mount Panorama. So I don't think he's discriminating on what he wants to do. He's just trying to put a deal together. And of course, front-wheel drive racing strong in his family with I think it's his nephew running in the XLs as well. So half race distance here. It's Shane Smollen that has got a nice lead at the moment, just under 3 seconds over Dwayne West, with Jem Usul in the Volkswagen and Jake Camilleri in the Mazda. Then it's James Keane, Chris Holt, Richard Luff, then Slossie and Jarvis in the Suzuki Swift, rounding out the top 9, or the 9 in this race. There's the James Keane car, looking quite good there, chasing down a legend of production car racing, and has also done a bit of GT and a bit of endurance racing. He owns a March car in the Mazda format, and he's done a fair bit of racing around the place, Jake Camilleri.
He's been a big supporter of production cars over the years. The Grand Prix Mazda signage on his car's always been, you know, a figure in this championship, so it's good to see, and he's a good guy, enjoys his motor racing, and no doubt being able to run a Mazda would be cheaper spare parts being a dealer, so no doubt headlights and tail lights would be a bit cheaper for Jake.
Down to see the spare parts manager at the end of every weekend.
He is a 5-time APC class champion as well. So as you said, plenty of history and plenty of good results as well. Let's get back to Jess.
I have tracked down James Moffat, who grabbed a podium in that race, which was a good way to start TCR campaign for the weekend. And it has been a solid weekend for you guys so far.
It has been really good. I'm disappointed for Dylan with his drama that saw him have to start from pit lane. But yeah, both cars have been really quick in the top 3 all weekend, and grab second in the race for race 1 was, good start. Managed a little bit of an issue towards the end, but yeah, happy to get to the finish and, yeah, unscathed.
Can you tell us anything about that issue? Or is it top secret?
Top secret. Come on, Jess, I'm not going to give that away, but we're probably just battling a little bit of a tyre issue with 5 or 6 laps to go. So, pushed Josh out in front as much as I could. Hoping he was going to blow his tyres off, and we might have done that instead, but we'll have a look at it when we get the wheels off and make a couple of changes for tomorrow. And yeah, we're starting obviously front row, and we'll go again.
Now, you wouldn't tell me what the issue was. Will you tell me what the changes are that you're going to be making on the car for tomorrow?
Wholesale changes, so there'll be that many to list. We probably don't have time. No, not too many. Obviously, the car's pretty close in the window, quick. So, just really small little changes. See if we can extract a little bit more speed out of it. Probably come down to the start based on today's race. So, focus a bit more on getting a better launch. The second phase of my start was pretty good. Just didn't launch as well as I would have liked. So, if we can work on that and get out in front and clean air, we might be half a show.
Very good. Well, best of luck for tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jess. Cheers.
Back up to you guys.
Fantastic work there by James Moffat. Danced around the issue beautifully, didn't he? Just off that, production cars and TCR, probably getting a bit of greedy with a bit of camber there down with the Moffat car.
Yeah, it's kind of like we were just talking about with this circuit. It's notoriously hard on the tyres, and I hate to elaborate on it, but this turn 1, for example, the load that goes through the right-hand side in particular, and the right front tyre, I think, would be the tyre that's causing the most dramas. John Martin in the Honda spoke about it as well, and you can just see, like, when the car turns in here, the load goes straight to the right front, and then especially when a front-wheel drive, when you get back on the throttle, the load is all going through that part of the car, and then given the direction of the circuit, there's always going to be more left-handers, so there's more load going through the tyres, and that's just what happens, and they're the only 4 things that touch the road, so they're obviously going to be working pretty hard no matter what category.
Great little battle this. James Keane there getting the job done down the Brabham straight. He was stalking and got Camilleri. So this is one of our entrants from the MWM organisation, the racing team based there in Orange, really professional. It'll get up there, the ones that are working on the new Mini as well. So a fantastic work by them, checking out their website today and doing a good job with some sales online as well. So there's a play.
That's what it's all about, isn't it? They put the sticker on the side of the car.
Yeah.
We've just sold some cars for Grand Prix Mazda as well. They got all the spare parts, so it doesn't matter whether you're running a a rotary powered car and improved production, you can head down there and get your 13B rotors or whatever it might be off your Mazda. So a bit of a plug for everybody out there in motorsport land. That's why they get involved, isn't it? They want to hear their names. They want to see their cars. They want to see their businesses on the side of the cars. Great battle here. This is livening right up. This is Richard Luff, Jarvis and Sloss there, and that's not in the order they were in because it's going to swap around as we head down into turn number 2.
They've been at it all race, these three. It's like their own little class, to be honest. The little tiny little cars, the Mini and the Swift.
Interesting line that Richard Luff, isn't he? He's going high and wide. It's almost like a bit of oval type racing. Not getting the drive off the back of the corner there though. Smollen leads to West, Usul, Keane, Camilleri, Holt, and this battle swapping around Sloss, Jarvis and Luff now. So moving them around.
I reckon Luff likes passing them.
Oh, here's a problem.
Yeah, the HSV.
This is our second place, Dwayne West, pulling off the road. So an issue. This is exactly what we've touched on in production car racing, isn't it, Jack? That these cars are not built specifically for racing. So we can see some smoke coming out from underneath.
Yeah, so it looks like, you know, obviously it's going to be terminal. It's hard to know exactly, but there's a fire there. So I'm going to suggest,
need to get to that.
Yeah, there'll be some oil dripping out there, and it's, you know, obviously hot conditions under the exhaust, and it's caught fire to the grass as well. So hopefully we can get a marshal over there to put that fire out pretty quickly.
Not a great place to have a fire here, is it, Jack?
No, I've been familiar with pulling the pin out of the fire extinguisher here myself, to be honest, which this gentleman is doing as well. Yeah, in the sports sedan out the hairpin, I you know, need to make sure that that car didn't burn to the ground that day as well. But hopefully the marshal there can get that extinguisher on there before we lose that HSV.
Yeah, it's a real shame he was running in second place. And doing a great job. He wasn't letting Smollen get too far away. Dwayne West, the Aussie Sprint Car champion from 2002, third year in this series. So it's keeping a little bit of pressure there on Shane. So real disappointment there. And we've now gone yellow flag for that one. So they want to get that fire out and get the HSV, the GTS, off the track safely and make sure that survives to race another day.
Checkered flag, so that will see the end of race 1 for the 2021 MRF Tyres Australian Production Car Series. There it is, confirmation for Prestige Connex, Shane Smollen, the Harding Performance Volkswagen of Cem Usul, next Volkswagen Keane, the Mazda for Camilleri,